Hey Cougar fans, here with USF head men's basketball coach Chris Johnson, whose team dropped a 79-71 decision to number 5 Augustana before a pretty packed Stewart Center. The environment was great, Chris. You guys had your moments even really late, and then really Casey Schilling made a couple plays that separated it.
Yeah, one, the students and our fans were awesome, and so were their fans. It was a really fun atmosphere to coach in. I'm sure it was a great atmosphere to play in and watch a game. It was a really good college basketball game. We went there from about the 8-minute mark to the 5-minute mark, trading 1-point leads back and forth, and they got up by 6, and we banged down to 3. And then got a stop and had the ball down 3 with, I think, about 3.5 minutes left, and then Casey Schilling just took over. You got to give him credit. I told him after the game, it's been a joy to coach against him because he's everything you want your guys to be. He plays so hard. He's so intense. He's a really good player. He's a great teammate, all of those things. And he just made a couple more plays than we were able to make collectively down the stretch, and he had to foul a couple times, and it stretched out to, I think, 8. So not hanging our heads at all. I thought our kids competed. I thought we played pretty well. We didn't shoot the ball as well as we normally do. And some of it's them, and some of it was us. We had a lot of open looks we just didn't make tonight. But, when you're playing the best team in the league and arguably the best team in the country, you got to make open shots when you get them. And we struggled a little bit in the second half with that.
You pointed to a couple factors prior to the game, and you talked about rebounding, and you held your own there. Yep. You only got beat by 2 rebounds, and you actually had one more turnover. It was a low turnover game, and you had 2 more assists. So there was a reason why you had a lead late in that ball game, and it had to make you feel good about how this team is really progressing because you're playing such a nationally tough team.
Yeah, I thought we only gave up 7-0 boards. There's nights Casey Schilling does that on his own, or between him and Dan Jansen. So I thought we did that. We kept our turnovers. I think we only had 9. We're under double digits. You can't complain about that. The number that sticks out is the 8 for 27 from the 3. We've been shooting it so well, and then this whole weekend we just did not shoot it as well. And some of that is, those guys. I think Tom Frederick was telling me those guys had, I don't know, it was 200 more starts in their starting lineup than we do. Some of that's experience. That's the first time Drew's been in that setting. It's only, it's the second or third time where Kibu has been in the setting in his role, and that's Daniel Hurts, first or second time in that setting. So, hopefully we learn from it. If we can get over the hurt of losing that game to a rival, we can get better from it. We gave them everything they had, and we have no reason to think, no matter who we play, that if we do what we need to do, that we'll be right in the game. And we just made a couple of mistakes late, and they made us pay for them. And that's what good teams do.
You guys never once backed off tonight and really showed some grit, even though you weren't hitting the shots. You had kids like Drew Giebert, he had 12 points, and then Mac Johnson, for the 5th time in 6 games, reached 20 points. And then I was really impressed with Daniel Hurt, 19 points, 5 boards, and he was one of those guys on the block that absolutely competed down low.
Yeah, offensively, we got really good stuff throwing the ball through him, and maybe he didn't shoot it from the perimeter as well as he normally does, but man, around the rim, he was really good for us tonight. He knocked down his free throws. And it's nice to be able to play back through him when we're not clicking offensively. We can play through him. We can get, it's not just him scoring. He hit Zach Wessels for a layup. He hit Drew cutting late for a layup because they've got to bring attention to him. They've got to bring a second guy or at least, dig on the block when we throw it in there. So I thought he did a really nice job. Like we said, there's nothing to hang your head about.
Listen, Daniel Jansen, who is one of the premier players in the country, had 17 points. That's below his season average. And he was only 4 of 10 from the field. And you're able to physical up with him inside. And I think that was one of the keys to your success tonight.
Yeah, the key is can we take that energy and that grit and that compete level on the road with us next weekend? Right. Can you find a way to do that when you don't have 1,500, 2,000 people in the gym, and more than half of them are cheering for you. You know, can you find that inside you all the time? And you know, when you show it, that's what coach is going to say all the time. You know, I thought we competed harder tonight than we did the night before. Just didn't have as good a result. But that'll be the one thing. Can we learn from it? Can we get better from it? Are we willing to keep grinding? And I think we will be. We had a tough loss against Mankato in the middle of this string, and we bounced back from that great. And so we get another shot at them on Friday, and they're a really good basketball team, and we'll see what happens.
You know, quickly, I've been part of a couple of rivalries, a state U rivalry when I was down at the U. It was really interesting because there was crowds like this, and then tonight, and you could just feel the energy, and you know, that's something that both teams have to really appreciate, right, Coach?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I wish we could do this every game, you know, and not just the Augie games. You know, I wish we could find a way to do that every game, you know, because I think that Trap's team, I think our team, I think we're fun to watch. I think we compete hard. I think we play fun brands of basketball, but I'm really appreciative tonight. Our crowd helped us. We got on the ropes a little to start the second half there, turned it over a couple times, missed a couple layups. They stretched it out to 10, and we came back and took a lead. And a lot of that was our crowd just kept us going, kept us in it, kept going with us, and so I'm really appreciative of that.
Listen, you have a tough road trip next week. You've already mentioned Minnesota State, and you also have to play a revitalized Concordia St. Paul team under Joey James. They've won a lot of games in recent weeks. But you have that opportunity now. You're one game up, basically, with knowledge that Minnesota State hung on and beat Upper Iowa. You have a one-game lead going into that. So again, your team has opportunity to take advantage of some situations and maybe find a way to get that first-round home game here for the NSIC tournament.
Yep, that's been a goal of ours since we started the season. It's within our reach, but it's far from done. And we're going to have to find a way to go win a game or two on the road, which is going to be hard. We all know how good Mankato is. You know, we had a late lead here and couldn't hold on to it against them. And they're really good. And Concordia, since we played them, it's just been rolling. I mean, they've beaten Moorhead, Northern, Winona, Upper Iowa. I mean, yeah, Mary, I believe. And so you've got to be really impressed with what they're doing. And so we'll take it one game at a time. We'll work on Mankato all week, and then we'll get ready for Concordia on Saturday morning. But I'm excited because we're playing really meaningful games at the end of the year, and our guys have put a lot of hard work to get to this point.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Great effort tonight, and good luck next week, Chris.
Thank you.